All right, so now we're going to talk a little more specifically about detrital sedimentary rocks. So detrital sedimentary rocks are classified almost solely on their grain size. As we said, detrital sedimentary rocks are ones that are created, the sediment is created by physical weathering. We said that from rain and other types of sort of environmental factors. Frost wetting is another way. So as you can imagine, if you take a rock and you smash it against the ground, it's going to break into different sizes, right? And the sizes that rocks are made of is how we classify them. So there are several classed sizes that make up detrital rocks, that make up the sediment. Those clasts are boulder, pebble, sand, and clay. This is, of course, a pretty gross oversimplification of how all this works, but this class isn't really designed to get into any real depth of science here. It's an introductory course, and even the environmental aspect of it isn't supposed to get into too much. So really, this is just a very general introduction on these type of rocks. Okay, but for our purposes, the sediment size can be broken up into these four categories. And they go from large boulder size down to very small clay size. So a boulder is one, that's something you can hold with one in your hand. A pebble is small enough to be about the size of a marble. Sand is a size that you see at the beach. And clay is a particle size that you can barely, if at all, see with the naked eye. So what type of rocks then are made from this sediment? Lucy, do you remember what type of rocks come from boulder or pebble sediment size? A conglomerate is exactly right. So if you look in your lab kit, you will see that there's an example of a conglomerate. And maybe the camera can come up and see it. Lucy, do you remember the name of the rock that is made from sand particle sizes?
Sandstone.
Sandstone is right. And we have the sandstone that we saw is generally composed of quartz. And do you remember the name of the rock that is made from clay particle sizes?
Shale.
Shale is exactly right. And if the camera can come and look at our shale sample. So, you guys at home, what I want you to do is pick up these three specimens of rock and take a very close look at them. What you're looking for is the size of these different sediments. Right? Boulders you should see on the conglomerate. You can see pebbles. You're not going to see a boulder, of course, because the size isn't big enough. But you should see pebbles in your conglomerate that are very easily seen with the naked eye, and that there's a large array of different sizes in that sample. The sandstone you should rub with your fingers and be able to feel that it has a sandy texture, almost like sandpaper. And as you look at it, maybe with your magnifying glass, you'll be able to see individual sand grains. And the shale, when you pick it up, you should rub it and feel that it is very smooth and possibly has layers in it, but that even with your magnifying glass, you're not able to see the individual grains. So that is how these detrital sedimentary rocks are organized, and we're going to talk in the next video about where we find the different sedimentary rocks and what they can tell us about that depositional environment.